Helios Prime was calm. Twin suns hung over the horizon, painting the skies orange and gold. Children played in the colony's central square. Traders moved along market lanes, and workers hauled crates of quantum crystal, the colony's most precious resource, to waiting cargo ships. No one saw it coming. HFY above, something moved. Silent. Dark. Dozens of alien ships pierced the atmosphere like knives. They made no sound until they struck. The first blast came without warning. A fireball tore through the eastern sector, vaporizing a refinery. The ground shook. Windows shattered. People screamed and ran. Sirens wailed. Then the sky rained fire. The alien ships, black and jagged like insect shells, moved in tight formation. Energy beams ripped through towers. Defense drones activated too late. Lasers from the colony's surface fired up, but the enemy shields held strong. In orbit, Commander James Walker stood on the bridge of his battlecruiser, Vanguard 1, staring at the chaos below. "Sir, Helios Prime is under full-scale attack," said Lieutenant Reyes, his second in command. Her voice trembled. "How did they get past our early warning system?" Walker asked, eyes locked on the screen. "We don't know. They came in cloaked. No comms, no signals." Walker clenched his fists. He had been training new Titan pilots on Earth just hours earlier. The call for help had come too late. Now he was watching a world burn. "Get us down there." "Titans prepped. Locked and loaded, Commander," Reyes replied. "But it'll take 6 hours to reach the surface with full squad deployment." Walker stared silently for a moment. 6 hours was too long. On the screen, a section of the colony collapsed. The flames grew. Escape ships struggled to lift off, but were shot down midair. "They're not just attacking," Walker said quietly. "They're erasing everything." Then came the message. Across every screen, alien symbols flickered, then translated. "You disrupted the balance. Correction is required." Walker felt cold. "Replay that," he ordered. The message repeated, the voice emotionless, layered with a metallic hum. It wasn't just an invasion. It was judgment. "Commander, we have lost contact with all ground forces," Reyes said. "Survivors are minimal. Colony status, 95% destroyed." Walker closed his eyes. He had led missions before. He had seen death. But this was different. This was extermination. He turned to the crew. "Prep a report. Alert UTF High Command. I want every Titan squad ready. We go to war." As he walked off the bridge, he looked once more at the burning colony below. Helios Prime had fallen, but the war had just begun. The war room at United Terran Federation Command was silent. Screens showed live footage of Helios Prime, nothing but ash, twisted metal and glowing craters. Smoke drifted through the shattered remains of what was once a thriving colony. Everyone in the room watched in grim silence. Commander James Walker stood at the center, helmet under his arm, jaw tight. President Hale, leader of the UTF, leaned forward. Her eyes were sharp. "Helios Prime is gone. Millions dead, and we still have no idea who did it." "We have an idea," Walker said. "We intercepted their message. They said we disrupted the balance." "That's not enough." General Stroud snapped from across the table. "You received the distress call late. You arrived after the colony fell. Why didn't you act sooner?" Walker met his eyes. "I wasn't given clearance to move. Command delayed deployment while they verified the threat." "Don't turn this around on us, Commander," Stroud said coldly. President Hale raised her hand. "Enough. We need answers, not blame." A screen lit up. It showed the alien ships, black and sleek like insects. They flew in tight formations, without any known propulsion systems. Their energy weapons cut through defenses like paper. Dr. Mira Lang, lead xenoscientist, stood and cleared her throat. "The Varn are not random invaders. They knew what they were targeting. Quantum crystal facilities, civilian shelters, communications hubs. This wasn't just destruction. It was strategy." Walker nodded. And it wasn't just war. It was a warning. President Hale turned to him. What do you suggest, Commander? Deploy Titan Squad to Nix 7. It's our next major colony. And it's rich in quantum crystal too. If the Varns strike again, it'll be there. Let us defend it, and find out what these things really want. That colony holds 2 million people, General Stroud said. We can't risk it. We can't protect it from Earth, Walker replied. Let us go. Let us fight. There was a long pause. Then President Hale nodded. Approved. You leave in 12 hours. Take your full squad. Bring back intel. And Commander, this time don't fail. Back at Hangar 09, inside Earth's orbital defense station, the Titans stood tall, 7 of them, each over 20 meters high. Giant machines of war, built from reinforced alloys, powered by quantum cores, each one uniquely designed, with custom weapons and armor. They stood like statues, ready to wake. Walker walked among them, helmet in hand. His own Titan, Eris 9, gleamed in the overhead lights, sleek, powerful, with twin pulse cannons mounted on each arm. Lieutenant Reyes approached him. She wore her pilot suit, visor up. We're locked in. Crew's loading supplies now. Titans are fully armed. Walker looked at the others. How's morale? They're scared, sir, but ready. Most of them saw the footage from Helios. They want payback. Walker nodded slowly. They'll get it, but not just for revenge. We need to know why this is happening. Reyes hesitated. Do you think Earth knew more than they're telling us? Walker didn't answer right away. I think someone always knows more than they say. But for now we focus on Nix 7. The hangar lights dimmed. A voice rang out over the intercom. Titan Squad, prepare for deployment. Walker climbed into his cockpit. The Titan powered up, glowing blue from within. Around him other pilots did the same. As the hangar doors opened, and the stars came into view, Walker whispered to himself, this time we strike first. The Titans launched into space. Titan Squad entered Nix 7's atmosphere like falling stars. The massive transport ship cut through clouds, heat shields glowing red. Inside, the Titans stood ready in their launch bays. Each pilot sat locked inside their cockpit, surrounded by lights, data streams, and steady beeping sounds. Commander James Walker's voice echoed through the comms. This isn't a drill. Stay sharp. Nix 7 may already be compromised. Outside the ship's window, the colony shimmered in the distance. Wide steel platforms floated over green terrain. Mining towers reached into the clouds. Below, dense jungle stretched for miles. Everything looked peaceful, but Walker didn't trust what he saw. The ship shook. Alarms blared. Contact. Incoming fire, the pilot shouted. A blast hit the left wing. The ship tilted hard. Titans rocked inside their clamps. Flames flashed outside. They're here, Walker said calmly. Release the Titans. Now, hydraulics hissed. The launch doors opened. One by one the Titans dropped from the ship, falling like iron meteors. Walker's Ares 9 hit the ground first, landing with a thunderous crash. Dust and leaves flew in all directions. The rest followed. 7 Titans stood in formation, surrounded by jungle, their heads turning slowly, weapons armed. The enemy came fast. Dozens of Varn creatures surged from the trees. Not ships this time, ground forces. They looked like giant insects, with armored shells and glowing eyes. Some crawled, others flew, all of them charged. Engage, Walker ordered. Pulse cannons fired. Explosions lit up the forest. Flamethrowers roared. Rockets screamed through the air. The ground shook under the weight of metal feet and alien bodies. Walker moved through the chaos like a veteran. His Titan fired bursts of energy, cutting down wave after wave. He sidestepped incoming acid blasts, returned fire, and shielded a teammate from an ambush. Reyes flank right. Copy that. Lieutenant Reyes, in her Titan Valkyrie 3, dashed through the trees and unloaded a missile barrage into a cluster of Varn. The explosion cleared a path, but the enemy didn't stop. These things are coordinated, Walker muttered. They're not wild, they're thinking. In the middle of the field, A massive Varn beast rose from underground, 10 meters tall, covered in spiked armor. It charged, roaring. "Focus fire on the big one," Walker shouted. All 7 Titans turned and opened fire. The beast was hit from every angle. Blades of light, plasma bursts, kinetic rounds. It stumbled, then exploded into flames. Silence followed. Smoke filled the air. Trees burned. The ground was littered with broken alien limbs and scattered metal parts. Walker climbed out of his Titan and stepped onto the battlefield. His boots crunched over scorched dirt. He looked around, breathing hard. They had won, but it wasn't over. Reyes approached, removing her helmet. Her face was pale. "We've never seen Varn ground units before. They're adapting." Walker nodded, and fast. A nearby sensor beeped. One of the engineers called out, "Commander, we found something buried under the blast zone." They moved quickly. Beneath the wreckage of the giant Varn beast was a structure, metallic, alien, glowing with strange blue lights. It pulsed, like a heartbeat. "What is that?" Reyes asked. Walker stared at it, uneasy. "I don't know, but it wasn't here by accident." The team began scanning the strange device. Data poured into the system, readings no one could make sense of. "Not yet." Walker looked up at the darkening sky. "They're not just here to destroy us. They're searching for something." The strange alien structure lay deep beneath the jungle floor. Titan Squad had cleared the battlefield. Engineers now worked around the strange device, setting up scanners and defense turrets. The glowing structure pulsed slowly, like it was alive. Its surface was smooth, with no visible seams, doors, or weapons. Symbols moved across it, alien script that shimmered, then disappeared. Commander James Walker stood near it, arms crossed, helmet under his arm. The jungle around them had gone silent. Even the birds had stopped singing. Dr. Mira Lang, the xenoscientist who had joined the squad's mission, examined the readings. "This isn't a weapon," she said quietly. "It's a sensor or a beacon. It's been here for years." Walker frowned. "Before we built the colony." Lang nodded. "Maybe even before humans arrived in this system." Reyes approached. "Then why activate now?" Lang tapped her datapad. "It's reacting to something. And I think it's our quantum crystal mining. The crystals might be tied to this structure's purpose." Walker looked at the pulsing light. "So we didn't just build on top of this. We woke it up." He turned away, walking to a quiet spot at the edge of the clearing. The trees swayed gently. He took a deep breath. His thoughts drifted to Helios Prime, to the families he couldn't save, and to a mission years ago, one that still haunted him. 5 years earlier, the colony on Kestrel 4 had been under siege. He was younger then, less experienced. His orders had been to protect a group of civilians trapped in a power station. But when an enemy mech battalion appeared, Walker chose to pull back. He saved his squad, but left the civilians behind. No one survived. The UTF called it a necessary decision. Walker called it a failure. Since then he had sworn never to abandon anyone again. Now, standing on Nix 7, staring at another unknown threat, he wondered if he was already too late again. Reyes stepped beside him. "You okay?" He nodded. "Just thinking." She lowered her voice. "You don't have to carry it alone." He didn't reply. Instead, he returned to the structure. "Dr. Lang," he said, "what do the Varn want?" She hesitated. "I think they're scanning for something inside us." Walker blinked. "Inside humans." Lang showed him a screen. "There's a signal coming from our DNA. A specific sequence activated by long exposure to quantum crystal. The colonies, people who've lived around these crystals for years, carry it. It's harmless to us, but to the Varn, it might mean something else." Walker looked at her. "Like a threat, or a rival," she said. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Commander, multiple energy signatures inbound." A tech shouted. Walker snapped into action. "Get that structure locked down. Titans to formation. Now." As the team scrambled, Walker climbed into Ares 9. Lights flickered as the cockpit sealed shut. His screens lit up. 20 Varn flyers approaching fast. "Reyes, take the left flank. Simmons, hold center. We protect the scientists at all costs. The Titans powered up. The jungle lit with blue engine glow. Trees bent in the wind from their launchers. The battle wasn't over, and the truth was only beginning to surface. The Varn flyers came fast. Their wings sliced through the air like blades, engines humming with a strange high-pitched tone. Dozens of them swarmed above the jungle, moving in perfect formation. Commander James Walker stood tall inside his Titan, Ares 9. His eyes scanned the sky through the cockpit display. The alien structure behind him glowed brighter than before, pulsing like it was responding to the attack. "All units, hold the line," he said calmly. "We keep them away from the scientists and the structure." "Lieutenant," Rhea's voice came through the comms. "Copy that, Commander. They're coming in low on the left." The Varn opened fire. Green plasma bolts lit up the sky, striking the trees and shaking the ground. The Titans responded instantly. Missiles launched from shoulder pods. Energy blasts tore through the sky. Explosions lit the battlefield. Walker moved fast, sidestepping and returning fire. He targeted one flyer, locked on, and fired a clean burst from his pulse cannon. The ship spun and exploded in midair. But for every one they shot down, 3 more came. "They're not just attacking," Reyes said, panting. "They're pushing us toward the structure." Walker realized she was right. The aliens were forcing them back, trying to retake control of the buried device. "We hold this ground," Walker growled. "No matter what." For 20 minutes, the fight raged. Finally, the last flyer went down in flames, crashing into the jungle with a loud boom. Smoke hung in the air. The Titans stood scorched but victorious. Dr. Lang ran toward Walker as he climbed out of Ares 9. "You need to see this," she said. Now, inside the temporary command tent, Lang pulled up a screen. On it was an alien device, one the team had recovered during the battle. It looked like a black orb, smooth and cold. When they brought it near the structure, it lit up and began transmitting data. Walker leaned in. "This device was meant to send messages," Lang explained. "It's some kind of Varn relay node. We intercepted a signal, one that seems meant for us." The room went quiet. Lang hit a button. The orb flickered. A voice came through, deep, metallic, and emotionless. "We are the Varn. You burn through the stars. You dig too deep. You awaken what should sleep. Your kind spreads imbalance." The voice paused, then continued. "We see the signal in your cells. You evolve toward danger. This path must end. We correct. You resist. You are warned." Silence. Walker stepped back. The message wasn't just a threat. It was a judgment. "They think we're a disease," he said, "and they see themselves as the cure." Lang nodded. "I think our DNA, changed by exposure to quantum crystal, is somehow reacting in ways the Varn don't understand or fear. Which means they'll keep attacking," Walker said, "until we're gone." That night Walker sat alone outside the camp. The stars above seemed distant and cold. He thought about Earth, about Helios Prime, about the millions who had already died. Reyes approached, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You look like you need this," she said, handing him one. "Thanks," he replied, quietly. She sat beside him. "You're not alone in this. We believe in you." Walker looked at her. "Even if the higher-ups don't." She smiled faintly. "They sent us with you, didn't they?" He nodded. Then he stood. "I'm done waiting. The Varn aren't going to stop, so we hit them first." He walked toward the command tent. "Tomorrow we find their hive, and we finish this." The warning came in the middle of the night. A sharp beep from the communications tower. Then a message from UTF High Command, short, urgent, and final. "Varn fleet detected. Earth is the target. Impact in 12 hours. Inside the base on Nix 7. Alarms blared. Lights flickered red. Soldiers scrambled to pack equipment. Engineers shut down the alien site. Titans powered up one by one. Commander James Walker stood in the center of the chaos, calm but firm. "We're going home," he said. "Suit up. The real fight is coming." Hours later, the Titan transport broke through Earth's atmosphere. The planet looked peaceful from above. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds. Then the sky lit up. The Varn fleet had arrived. Hundreds of alien ships filled the upper orbit, black and smooth. They moved together like one mind. Plasma beams fired down toward Earth's surface. Cities were burning. Civilian transports tried to flee, only to be shot down mid-air. Walker's face hardened. No more running. The Titans dropped. One by one they crashed down outside New Geneva, the capital city and UTF's command center. Buildings were already in ruins. Fires raged in the distance. The sky was dark with smoke and alien drones. Defensive lines are broken, Reyes said. UTF forces are falling back. Walker nodded. Then we hold the front. The Titans moved forward. They stomped through rubble, crushing alien creatures underfoot. Pulse cannons roared. Missiles flew. The ground shook with every step. Walker's Ares 9 led the charge. He fired non-stop, clearing a path for UTF ground troops behind them. Every building they passed was either abandoned or destroyed. The Varn were everywhere, but Earth was fighting back. UTF tanks rolled out of hidden bunkers. Drones swarmed from rooftops. Laser turrets fired from behind barricades. Humans, outnumbered but defiant, stood their ground. Then Walker got the final call from President Hale herself. Commander Walker, we have one shot. Take the prototype. Destroy their command ship. You know what to do. He didn't hesitate. The hangar doors opened. Inside stood the last Titan, the largest ever built, twice the size of a standard unit. Its name, Atlas. It hummed with energy, powered by an unstable quantum core. Walker climbed in. Atlas is unstable, Reyes said over the comm. You might not survive. Walker's voice was calm. If I don't stop them, none of us will. Atlas launched into orbit, straight into the Varn swarm. Walker broke through the enemy lines. Ships fired at him, but his shields held. He reached the center of the fleet. The Varn command ship loomed ahead, massive, glowing with alien energy. A voice echoed in his cockpit. You are the source. You carry the signal. You are the end. It was the High Mind. Vetrax. The final battle began. Walker charged the command ship. Varn drones attacked, but Atlas crushed them with every step. Inside the ship, he broke through steel walls, plasma gates, and energy fields. At the heart of the vessel stood Vetrax's core, a tall, floating drone, sleek and deadly. Its body glowed with strange symbols. It moved without sound. Walker aimed. They fought hand to hand. Blades clashed. Energy pulses exploded. Walls collapsed. Walker took damage. His systems flickered. Alarms screamed. But he pushed forward. With one final strike, he drove his Titan blade into the core. The ship shook. Energy surged. Vetrax's voice echoed one last time. You choose chaos. Walker whispered. I choose freedom. Then everything went white. On Earth the Varn ships stopped. One by one they crashed, fell, or drifted lifeless. The fleet was gone. The sky cleared. Humanity had won. But Atlas did not return. Earth was silent. The skies, once filled with fire and smoke, were clear now. The sun rose slowly over the ruins of New Geneva, casting light on a broken but living world. Streets were cracked. Towers were scorched, but people stood again. Soldiers helped civilians. Engineers restored power. Medics carried the wounded. Humanity had survived. But Commander James Walker was gone. The UTF held a memorial at the Unity Plaza. It stood where Titan Squad had first landed. Soldiers, pilots, scientists, and civilians gathered. A giant hologram of Atlas, the prototype Titan Walker had piloted, towered above the square. President Hale stepped up to the podium. Earth was almost lost, she said, but one man stood in the way of extinction. Commander James Walker gave everything to stop the Varn. Because of him, we are still here. She paused. Let us never forget his sacrifice, or the message it carries. When we stand together, we are stronger than any enemy. The crowd bowed their heads. A single bell rang in the silence. Later that day, Reyes stood alone on a hill overlooking the city. She wore her pilot jacket, the collar turned up against the breeze. In her hand was a small metal badge, Walker's insignia. Behind her stood the rest of Titan Squad. They had survived the final battle on the ground. bruised, burned, and tired, but alive. He always said we'd have to finish what others started, Reyes said softly. He just never told us we'd have to do it without him. Simmons, the youngest of the team, stepped forward. He believed in us. We won't waste what he gave us. They stood in silence for a while. Then Reyes pointed toward the horizon. We rebuild. We protect the colonies. We watch the stars. Because they'll come again. Maybe not tomorrow, but someday. Years later, on the ruins of Helios Prime, a statue stood tall. It was a replica of Atlas, one arm raised toward the sky. Below it a plaque read, Commander James Walker. He chose to stand when others fell. Unity is our strength. Children played in the new colony nearby. Farmers planted crops in the rich soil. Life had returned. And above, among the stars, satellites scanned the deep black sky, not in fear but in vigilance. Earth remembered. Earth endured.